Come strong when united. Nigeria unite.
This message is brought to you by Abuja Broadcasting Corporation, owners and operators of ASO Radio 93.5 FM Abuja, ASO Television DSTV Channel 392, Star Times Terrestrial Channel 127, Free TV Channel 507, People's TV Channel 285, and UHF Channel 38.
Good morning, Abuja. Good morning, Nigeria. It's me, Daniel Black, again on agriculture for today and for tomorrow. How have you been doing? How have you been doing? Today, 2nd of December, is actually the day we commemorate the day for the abolition of slavery. It's about 75 years since that abolition was done in the United Nations General Assembly. The question is, we may not be enslaved by hands. We may not be enslaved by being bounded into ships and moved to foreign countries. But are we totally free? Have we actually abolished slavery in the right sense of it? Mental slavery, food slavery, economic slavery. Are we crops? They just plant and hope to God that pests do not take over or diseases do not take over their crops. But in Western worlds, in advanced countries where food security is actually intentionally planned, there are different and better ways of actually farming and ensuring that food security is a key component of the national plan. We want to thank, we know the president on assumption of office renamed the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, as of then was Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development. It renamed it to Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security. And we took that as a correct step, as a right step, that, okay, we are incurring data that inform the next step to be taken. Smart farming is not gambling. Smart farming is not probability. Smart farming is actually farming with precise and accurate data. Data gotten from history, data gotten from forecasts, data gotten from previous activities. Smart farming also definitely involves the incorporation of technology, because you find out that humans tend to fall into fatigue. When you're farming, especially in a large expanse of land, you have to ensure that there is incorporation of technology. Technology could be as small as applying using hybrid seeds, to as large as having big machineries like tractors, like drones, and all the other machineries that we have been. Are we going to be able to ensure that in the next 10 years, sustainably, there will be food for our children and their children to feed on? We'll answer all these questions after we come back from the short break.
Our first efforts at democracy and self-government were abruptly arrested in the mid-60s, largely as a result of the incongenial atmosphere engendered by the uncompromising stance adopted by the political parties of the First Republic. Thus, opportunities were lost for our people to interact and learn to accommodate the prerequisite
Welcome back from that short break. This is still Agriculture for Today and Tomorrow, a media for agricultural development of GSAI, Growth for Sustainable Agriculture Initiative, where we promote smart solutions for greener harvest. We were talking about smart farming, the future of agriculture in Nigeria, and we have been able to introduce smart farming and talk about why we need to adopt smart farming in Nigeria. And we also understand that it is not just about calling the name, it's not just about saying that we our ministry is now Ministry for Food for Agriculture and Food Security, and we have to actually adopt it. And there have been many initiatives to actually mechanize, to actually turn farming into smart farming, but we were trying to understand, expose on the concept of smart farming. What does smart farming really mean? And we know that smart farming actually is the use of precise information, precise data in decision making in farming and in agriculture to ensure that we have precise yield, to ensure that this particular quantity is what the maize gets. You can do that for animals too, you can do that for crops too, and this is done by even understanding what you're planting. So besides just doing the cultural practices of what you have seen your parents do over time, what you've seen your neighbor do over time, or what someone just gisted you by the side, okay, I planted maize, I added fertilizer, and then I watered it, and all of that and all of that. Do you know the actual quantity of fertilizer that is needed? Data has shown that in Nigeria, that over 50% of fertilizer applied to the soil, applied to crops, are a waste, because we just apply it and we leave it. We apply it without having understanding of the actual nutrient requirement of those crops. So smart farming increases productivity and profitability, because where most farmers will use 10 kg of fertilizer in a particular land, you as a smart farmer, you are adopting smart third world country like Nigeria. We talk about high initial cost of technology. All the technology we've mentioned comes at a cost to get irrigation to kits. It is very expensive, and most times the intervention of government is needed for rural and smallholder farmers to be able to enjoy these smart farming options. Lack of technical skills. Yes, this data, like I just mentioned, we work with data. Smart farming works with data. Smart farming works with precision. There is a need for technical expertise. There is a need for young people to go into data analysis, to go into research, to go into ways of getting this data that will enable farmers to be able to get what they want. And then, of course, we talk about poor internet connectivity. So the infrastructural spread that would support smart farming is also very low in Nigeria, and that is where government will also have to come in. That is where the big private sectors, the telcos, will have to come in, because for most of the smart farming applications